Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I have a double header for y'all. We have the Civivi Synergy 3 and the Civivi Badlands Vagabond. At the end of this video, we will be giving away this knife, and since y'all were so patient, we will also be giving away this knife, so hopefully you've entered. We're going to start with the Synergy. This knife has lots of history. Mr. Jim O. Young first designed this knife and debuted it in 1999. Then we picked it up and they had the Synergy 2. It was a titanium frame lock. It was more premium than this particular knife. And now Civivi has done the Synergy 3. This knife comes in at $93.50. And it also comes in a Damascus, and you can also get it in a Tanto variation in Damascus and this exact configuration. As far as I know, it all comes in black G10. Let's get some specs out of the way. You have an overall length of 7.7 inches, so it's in a medium-sized range. You have a blade length of 3.27 inches, grip area from here to here of 3.7 inches, handle scale thickness from here to here of 0.56 inches, a closed width in the pocket of 1.24 inches, and a blade stock thickness of 0.12 inches. Behind the edge thickness on this particular knife is around 16 thousandths at its thinnest portion and 17 thousandths at the thickest toward the tip. And it is sharpened at 24 degrees per side. And let's take a closer look at this. You have somewhat of a modified trailing point, and I say modified because a trailing point is both the tip's supposed to be above the scales, and if you put a ruler right there, it's not, but it's definitely that upswept style blade. It just goes deeper. This extenuated belly right here is excellent for slicing, doing, if you wanted to fillet with this knife or to skin an animal or something like that, it would work perfect for that. It also, if you want to use it at lunch to slice up your apples or whatever you want to use it for, it would be just fine. I found that it sliced very well, held its edge nicely with the Nitro V steel. It performed, as I expected, because Civivi does a good job with their heat treat. And it's also a stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about it as much. It has a nice stonewash finish on this flat ground blade. You have a swedge that goes all the way down to that tip, tapering down to a nice fine point right there. You're not going to want to do any kind of prying with that, but you're not supposed to do that with folder. Also has a very nicely done crown spine up there. Gives it a nice classy look, and not something you usually see on budget knives, even though this one's not really a budget knife at 93 bucks. You have a sterile blade on this side. Over here you have Mr. Jimbo Young's maker's mark right there, and hidden, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, let's see, oop, there it is, Nitro V stainless steel. And you have a nice sharpening choil that does clear the plunge, and you should better sharpen it a few times before you start widening up here in the back. There's no jimping up top, but I don't think it's needed. I like the feeling of that crown spine on my thumb. And let's close it up. The action on this knife is outstanding. The way the flipper is designed, it's sitting right at the top of that pivot, so you have a lot of momentum coming around. And you also have some nice fine cut jimping right there that perfectly grabs a hold of that finger, and that light switch, it comes out with authority. If you put your finger on top, you can do the push button, but I find it much more comfortable to do the light switch. Yeah, it comes out fast. Close it up. Your hardware on the knife is all black hardware. You have T8 on the body screws, T8 on the pivot screws, and T6 on the pocket clip screws. You have a G10 scales that have this nice milling pattern that, depending on how the light hits it, it's kind of like that carbon fiber effect. It shimmers on, but not shimmers, but it just catches it at different angles, and it looks nice. It also adds some traction to the knife without being uncomfortable when using it. They did an excellent job of knocking down those edges where that milling ends, and they've softened it so it feels good. The shape of this handle with a pretty neutral grip, I found the ergonomics to be a joy. That was another star for this knife. It was outstanding in the hand. I had no problems with all the cutting I did. It was nice and comfortable. The only time I did notice that it wasn't the most comfortable in the grip was in this pull grip right here, mainly because of where my finger hits this pocket clip and the flipper tab. It was kind of digging into my hand. You could definitely get it done, and depending on how big your hand is or how small your hand is, it may not be an issue for you, but just something I did notice. All right, let's flip the knife over. You have a black G10 backspacer that goes up about 1/4 of the way. So if you want to blow this out with some compressed air to clean it out, you can with a Q-tip, whatever makes it a little bit easier. You do have a oval shaped lanyard hole that you could easily fit 550 paracord if that's something you enjoy. You have a deep carry pocket clip. It is only tip up, right hand carry only. Let's check it out in the pocket. The pocket clip has a good bit of ramp to it, so it goes in the pocket nicely, and it curves to this side of the pocket in that minimal flipper tab. You can get your hand in there, and I don't even touch the flipper, so nicely done there, and you can get it out. Now, we'll say there is texture underneath. Let's see if I can show you. There is that texture underneath there, so it possibly could wear out your jeans after a while, just depending. I like the fact that they have countersunk those pocket clip screws and have recessed the pocket clip into the G10. That's always a nice touch, so you don't have to worry about your pants snagging on anything here in the back whenever you're going into the pocket. All right, on the inside, you have a recessed stainless steel aligner lock that has been coated black, so you can't really see it in there unless you grab a flashlight. On the show side scale, it's just one slab of a G10, and that's all you need because that's a thick piece of G10. I can't flex it at all. The lockup on this particular knife is at around 50%, as you can see. Absolutely no play side to side, none up and down, rock solid. Excellent job there. The knife has a detent ball ramp, and basically what that means is there's a ramp right there on the lock face, to where when you disengage the lock, when you go to close the knife, that detent ball, instead of having to jump up onto the blade, it's a smooth transition, so you don't feel it. Nice, and it's very well done. I don't feel the detent ball at all. Even if I do it right after the lock, I don't feel it. It just goes right over it. And that's not something you see on a lot of budget knives either. The access to that lock bar, I'm just going to call it okay. This side, the lock side, does sit up just a little bit past the show side scale, and it does have some jimping, but I find that jimping to be a little uncomfortable, and it is a little bit strong for me, the tension on it. So I use, once again, this fat part of my finger to disengage that lock. But even then, after a while, or if I slide on it or something, that texture right there will kind of get me. Not the end of the world, but as a fidgeter, it could bother you if you're like me. All right, let's get some size comparisons. First up, you have the Ontario Rat 1 and Rat 2. So it looks like it's going to be right in the middle of both. Here you go. And if you go pivot to pivot, there it is. Oh, there it is. Let's see, we have the QSP Penguin. Let's move this up a little bit. QSP Penguin. It's going to be a good bit smaller. And the Civivi Riffle. The Riffle is It's just a little bit, probably about a 1/4 inch longer. All right, Nitpicks and Complaints. I didn't really have many. I found it to be, you know, fun to use, but if I have to be very nitpickish, the lock, like I said before, isn't super comfortable to disengage because of that texturing right there and the pressure on the lock bar. It's not, you know, terrible, but after a lot of flipping, you will probably notice it. Also, I wish they would have offered this in more variations. They're usually excellent at offering in micarta, different colors. But I guess because of this, you know, milling pattern, which is probably, you know, along the milling pattern along with the steel choice, and it being a collaboration design, that's probably why the price is what it is. So I can't really fault it there, especially if you like the aesthetics, or if you like, if you're a Synergy fan, because this knife used to have a cult following back in 1999. Does it transfer to 2022? That's up to you. Is the value here on this knife? Oh, it's not outrageous. However, under the Civivi brand, that's getting up there. You know, but we see that across the board with Civivi and pretty much all knife companies. Everybody's prices are going up. I don't like it, but, you know, it is what it is. I'd say if you like the design, the price is okay for you, I would say go for it. You know, it's a very comfortable knife. It has a very, very snappy action. I think it's nice looking, and it's going to be one of y'all's if you entered the giveaway. So let's go on to the next knife. All right, next up we had the Civivi Badlands Vagabond. They had sent me this one, and I purchased this top one to give away. So we're going to talk about this one. This is just the murdered out version. This is not a new model for them, but I definitely think it's an excellent knife. It comes in at $40, and they were able to do that because of some of the material. Let's get the specs out of the way. You have an overall length of 7.5 inches, so it's in that medium to smaller range. You have a blade length of 3.25 inches, a grip area from here to here of 3.54 inches, a pretty slim handle scale thickness at 0.48 inches, and a closed width in the pocket of 1.16 inches, so it's going to be pretty easy to carry, and a blade stock thickness of 0.12 inches and a thickness behind the edge of 18 thousandths, sharpened at 22 degrees per side. All right, let's take a closer look at this. You have a very nicely done and consistent satin finish on here. They usually do a good job. Sterile blade, nice hollow grind, which that hollow grind allows them to still bring it down to a decent thinness for such a short grind. If that would have been a flat grind, it would have been a lot thicker behind the edge. You have a nice top swedge up here, a nice point for piercing, but it's not too dainty. You have dual thumb studs that are nice and comfortable. They're rounded, no sharp spots on them. You have a pretty large sharpening choil right there. I don't know how I feel, but I like it in the fact of when I sharpen it, I can sharpen it several times before it starts widening up back here. But at the same time, I did notice it did get caught up on some of the materials I was cutting. I found that the knife sliced well. It performed nicely pretty much in everything that I did, especially at this price point. It's not gonna, be the end all be all, but you'll have to sharpen it every now and again. The 9CR 18 MOV blade steel that they use is a really good budget in stainless steel. It holds an edge for a fair amount of time, and it strops up very nicely as well. After I finished all the cutting that I did with it, I stropped it back up, and it's now cutting phone book paper reliably once again. That's always nice that I can do some maintenance like that out in the field with my knife and get it back to being, sharp enough to get whatever work I need done. Let's close it up. This is riding on ceramic bearings and a ceramic detent ball. The flipper has some jimping up there, and it's nicely rounded over right there, so no sharp pokey spots. The action is very nice. They always do a good job with the detent. Also with that thumb stud, it comes out. If you want to slow roll it, you can. The closing action, it's not the smoothest knife on the closing, but it's got a good enough opening action that I'm okay with that. You can spotty flick it as well if you like that. No jimping up top, but you do have a flat portion right there to rest the thumb, and I found it to be nice and comfortable on the spine of the blade. Close it up. The hardware on the knife is all T8, the body screws and the pivot, and it's also been coated black to match the scales. And the pocket clip screws are the only thing that's not T8. They are T6. They are recessed, and the pocket clip screw, the pocket clip itself is recessed into the scales just a little bit. The handle scales are FRN, and I'm usually, depending on how it's done, it's not always my favorite, but it will lighten up the knife a good bit. And I must say that I was pretty surprised. This FRN, I know I heard other people say it feels good in the hand. It looks nice, and it doesn't feel like a cheap knife, especially at $40. I'm okay with that. There's some company that I won't be naming that sells, their FRN knives for like $80. That right there is kind of hard to swallow. You do have like a faux bolster up top and some texturing that gives you some traction on there. It feels nice in the hand, and they have softened all these edges. And I noticed I really could tell whenever I was, putting some pressure into the wood cutting, that it wasn't digging into my hands. It was nice and comfortable. In the hammer grip, it was comfortable. The saber grip, it was comfortable. The pull grip, once again, was okay, but I will say I noticed this the back side of this flipper tab was rubbing into my hands, and where this finger falls whenever I do this pull grip. I don't do a lot of cutting like that anyway, so it's not really a big deal to me. The reverse grip is very comfortable, and all that's subject to the size of your hands, of course. Besides the FRN lightening up the knife, you can see you have some heavy skeletonized stainless steel liners right there. I mean, I don't think you can skeletonize those anymore. And you also have some skeletonizing in the back, if you can see that on the lock side. So that, along with the FRN back spacer, you have a hidden lanyard tube back there. I like that. Let's check out the weight. Let's see how much weight we save. 2.99 ounces. So yes, that is a light knife in my opinion. I think it's very nicely done, and all those people that have to have that ounce and inch, there you go. Let's go back to the pocket clip. You do have a deep carry tip up left or right hand tapped pocket clip that works just fine, goes in and out of the pocket nicely. Let's check it out in the pocket. You have a good bit of ramp, so it is going to clear no matter probably what size pants you have. Goes in nicely and pretty much disappears in the pocket. It hugs that side right here, and that flipper tab, I noticed, stayed out of the way of my hands. I didn't have any issues if you're somebody who carries other stuff in your pocket besides your knife. Not me. All right, let's check the lockup. The lockup on this particular knife is sitting, I would say, at around 60%. But it's solid. I will say you can flex the blade side a little bit of side to side with just blade flex. It's kind of this, the liner's kind of going side to side. Nothing that I find to be dangerous or anything, and absolutely no up and down that I can tell. Let's do some quick size comparison, and we will do my nitpicks after this. You have the Ontario Rat 1, which is a good bit larger. The Ontario Rat Model 2. As you can see, it's in between both of those. I would say closer to the Rat 2 if I had to pick one. And About the same grip area as the Rat 1, except you don't have this deep choil, so it's much more comfortable with that neutral grip right there. Let's see, I have the QSP Penguin. The Penguin is a little bit shorter, and we have the Civivi Riffle. So it's very close to the Riffle. You know, it's a little bit shorter, not by much. All right, nitpicks and complaints. I didn't have that many. You know, about the same as the one before. I have to say that even though I like you know, a sharpening choil that clears that plunge line and is going to allow me to sharpen it up a couple of times before this starts thickening up on me. I like that, but I did notice that being this one as big as it is, I was getting caught up in this on a couple occasions in doing the cardboard, and I forgot what else I was cutting, but I did notice it was getting stuck in there. But you just got to be mindful that you have that choil there and watch where you're cutting. Also, just like on the Synergy, the lock, disengaging the lock is not super comfortable, at least for me. You know, this is all my opinions, because my hands are a little beat up, or a lot beat up. The texture on it is not as sharp as the Synergy, but the pressure on that lock bar is a little bit stronger than the Synergy, so it's not the most comfortable. Once again, I'm using that fat of my thumb to disengage that lock, and after a while, it does start to aggravate me. So overall value, I definitely think the value is there at 40 bucks. I think it's an excellent knife. It's well made, and it's lightweight. If you're looking for a good work knife, or you know, something that's not going to weigh you down, I think this is a good option. It's got great action, comfortable, slicey blade. You got deep carry pocket clip, and I definitely recommend it if you like it. Now it's time for the giveaway. All right, we're gonna use the YouTube random comment generator picker thing, and first we're gonna choose for the Badlands Vagabond. I put the URL in there if you want to go check that, and we will filter duplicate users, and I would filter it on the specific text, because I said you had to say Merry Christmas, but I did do a community post about, you know, if you didn't, you know, enter, that you could go ahead and enter, just leave a comment. So we're just going to leave it at that. So everybody who left a comment on that video is entered into the giveaway. So we're going to hit this twice. We're going to get the comments. Let's see how many comments we have. So it's generating how many. You have 329 unique. Wow, that's crazy. Only 329 for the amount of views on that, but that's better ads for y'all. So we're going to do this. We're going to do it twice. So the first time I hit this, whatever name that pops up, that's not the winner. The second time, that is a winner. So hopefully nobody gets upset about that. But here we go. This one doesn't count. All right, this is the second one. Let's pick another winner. Okay, so this is the winner for the Badlands Vagabond. All right, Mitchell Hadfield. Merry Christmas. Thanks for doing giveaway. Well, no problem. Thank you all for y'all support. So, Mitchell, you have won the Badlands Vagabond. Email me at 23. Well, it's in the description of the video. Just email me, and I will get this shipped out to you. So now we're going to pick for the Synergy 3. Let's see. We're going to do it twice, once again, and on the second time, this will be the winner of the Synergy 3. So this one's not the winner. Sorry. Okay, now this time it'll be the winner for the Synergy 3. Drum roll. All right, Eric Graves. Merry Christmas, Nick. Thanks for another year of knife therapy. You're welcome. Eric, email me. My email's in the description of this video. Email me, and with your that you're the winner. Please Don't try to cheat the system, because I will know there's a lot of ways to find out if you're the actual person or not. So Mr. Eric, you have won the Synergy, and I think it's Mitchell, you've won the Badlands Vagabonds. Congratulations to the winners. If you didn't win, don't worry. I have several other giveaways in the work coming. I think, yeah, I have 2 Kaisers that I'll be giving away as soon as I get those videos done. And 2 more knives I cannot remember. But I have some more giveaways coming up. Sorry this one took so long. I'm trying to catch up on reviews after having that, that virus. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.